Hello and welcome to this episode of Cosmic Crow Tarot, where today I've got a brand new deck to share with you. And this might be one of the coolest, most interesting, random pop culture decks that I've ever shared before. You can see there it comes from a small business. It says, "Thank you for supporting my small business." And the mailing package, I left it in it to share it with you because of how cute it is. Like all those ribbons and everything. You know, this is a very, very feminine deck. It's probably one of the most influential females out there today. Very, very simple to get open. I even had my handy dandy scissors right there to use, and I don't need them. So we've got the box or the packaging open, and dun 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 dun, I have to share with you today the Tayrot deck. And the reason that I wanted this deck, I saw it on social media. The algorithm on Facebook and Instagram is like, hey, you know, you belong with me. That deck, yes. And this is the Taylor Swift inspired deck. And I saw it. It's created by Suburban Witch Company. And it's just, I saw the illustrations of it. I saw different pictures of it. And I was like, I'm not that biggest fan of Taylor Swift. I would definitely not call myself a Swiftie. But I love her energy. I love her ability to just inspire the world. To make girls everywhere, no matter how young or old you are, that you can do anything. You know, she sits there, she writes her stuff out. She creates her own music. She plays all of her own instruments and everything. She can. And that's my thing about musicians. You know, I am actually my biggest, like you could, if there's a word for it, then I would follow into the Nickelback group of that. Nickelback is my favorite band of all time. And they do that too. They write their own music. Chad Kroeger sits there and he writes his songs and everything about whatever he's thinking of. So he and Taylor have that kind of thing in common. And just, I love that empowerment of it. Like you see those people, you're inspired by those people. And the more you're inspired by them, the more you can make your own ideas, your own passions and everything a reality by being inspired by these people. Not comparing yourself to them and thinking, you know, they did it, I'm not able to do it. No, no, no. She inspires people. Just as everybody that follows their passion and believes in them inspires, you know, others as well. So be an inspiration to people. Be an inspiration to yourself and let the people that have already succeeded inspire you. You can see that this deck is brand new, still in the plastic, and I have used my handy dandy scissors to get a little slice into the plastic so we can get it off and get into this deck, you know. I saw a couple of the illustrations online. You may have seen a couple of the illustrations online, but we're going to see all of them, all 78 cards in this deck. You can see it says 78 card deck, so we don't have the extra 2, it seems, but that's, you know, not a big deal. I'm a huge fan of when they add those extra cards personally, though, because it gives you even more to like connect with, more to read with, like those random cards that just come with the deck that have nothing to do with tarot. You can absolutely make them into tarot. Like I love that aspect. But 78 cards, the fantastic Mastermind Tarot deck. And you can see that up there and up there. I'm gonna pop the deck open. Are they in plastic? No, they are not. So that is good. I didn't want to get my handy dandy scissors out again, but we're gonna get the cards out. There we go. And I've got 2 still in there because the box is very, I think it's called a tuck box. I always call everything a tuck box though, so maybe not. But there we have the backs right there, and it's kind of giving me justice energy right there with like the scales and the cats and everything. So it turns out, I didn't know this, but that's something that Taylor Swift and I have in common, other than the fact that we're both Sagittarius, is the love for cats that she has. Yes, cats are my favorite animal. That and crows, but you know, you can't actually have a pet crow, so appreciate the crows in nature and have a cat with me at all times, definitely. So we're going to get into the deck. I'm going to flip it over like this. You saw those backs, like nothing too exciting about the white sides or anything like that, but we're going to start. We're going to see how much this deck connects with the Rider-Waite-Smith a little bit and see what all the different illustrations look like. There is Taylor being the Fool, and you can see down here, you've got the lyrics and everything right there. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan, so I don't know which songs this relates to, and I'm not going to sit here and read each one of them there, but you can see it right there if you want to pause it and read what it says a little bit. But what I do notice right here, and I love this, that actually looks like my cat Dash. Very much looks like her right there. And you know, if I'm a fool, she's being a fool right there with me. So that's awesome. Very much like Rider-Waite-Smith, fool right there, but it's like Taylor as the fool, and it, like there's the white flower and everything the fool possesses. There's the microphone showing that passion and everything that she's a fool for, jumping off and doing that. And even the dress and everything, it's very like, I don't know the right word here, but it's very reminiscent, I think that's the correct word, of the Fool from the Rider-Waite-Smith, that billowing top that he has on. So very awesome right there with the Fool. Flip it over, excuse me, and put it right there, and we'll get to the magician. You know, she's the character in all these, so she is the magician right there, and she has everything she needs. There's the wand, the pentacle, the sword, the cup. As above, so below. She's making that magic, and it just works perfectly. You know, even if you're not, like, if you are a fan of Taylor Swift, but you're not into tarot yet, and you're looking for that perfect tarot deck, yes, we've only gotten 2 cards in so far, but this deck is very, very easily readable. Like, it's very good for beginners. There's no guidebook or anything with it, but you could get any guidebook that you read with tarot that tells you the different meanings and stuff, and it's going to be able to help you read it because it's very connected to that. There you've got that wording again. Every single one of these cards, I didn't show it right there, but there, every single one of these cards has those lyrics right there on the card. So that's a really cool aspect because then you can relate all 78 cards to different ones of her songs. I think that is such an awesome touch. The Empress is next, and she's got even the symbol for Venus and everything there. So it's like every single one of these cards has replaced the Rider-Waite-Smith with her. What a cool idea. Seriously, if some talented artist wants to make a Nickelback tarot deck like this, I would jump on that in a heartbeat, I promise you. Like, that's just the whole thought process behind this. It's really, really interesting. Like, there she is as the Emperor. I like the snakes and everything there. It takes the place of the rams. It's very interesting there. Like, it gives you like a whole new meaning. And there's the snake in the background or thing, you know, face those inner demons, embrace your power, give away the, like, don't let the poison seep into you, and believe in yourself. Like, believe in that strong foundation you are. Very, very cool. The Hierophant follows the Emperor in the sequence, and there is that illustration with the lyrics right there. They're a little bit easier to see because it's got that black line there, but still, like, at the angle that I'm looking at this, yeah, it's not exactly easy for me to read it. The Lovers follows the Hierophant right there. The card Astrologic connected to Gemini is right here, and you know, as I'm making this video, it's very much Gemini season, so we've got the Lovers right there, and she's got the cat going hooray in the background, so that's a really fun illustration. The Chariots, you know, you found that love, now you're going to go into your own world and your own life and drive your chariot forward, and there she is with red hair, it seems, and 7 of the Chariot. The lyrics right there of the song, and there's those 2 cats, and that gray and striped one definitely looks like my dash, so that is very cool. And that cat, it seems that might be like the cat that she's most connected to. So yeah, because here is that same cat in strength with those stripes and everything, the gray and white cats. Yeah, those are probably the cats that I find most connecting in my life. Like, the last 5 cats I think I've had in my life had that gray and white. Little Dashlyn does too. So that is very cool. I love that little nod to my own cat right there. The Hermit, no cat in the illustration, but definitely hermit energy, you know, shining a light in the mess that is our own mind. So very, very cool illustration right there. And the lyrics down there again. Wheel of Fortune follows the Hermit. You know, you learn those secrets of the soul. You spent that time in solitude. It's time to spin the wheel and begin the next chapter. She is up there in the top left. Apparently, like, energy of Aquarius right there. You've got the energy of Scorpio, I believe, because it used to be an eagle before it was a scorpion. You've got the 2 characters down here that relate to the fixed signs of Taurus and Leo. So very, very cool illustration right there. And there I can actually read this one very, very well with the way I'm sitting. Is because these things will change, can you feel it now? Like, that makes perfect sense for that energy of the Wheel of Fortune, doesn't it? Very cool illustration there. Justice follows the Wheel of Fortune in this deck, you know, depending on if it's Marseille related or Rider-Waite-Smith, justice and strength can be interchangeable. So there is Justice. Karma is a god. That makes a lot of sense there as well. So very cool illustration there. Hanged Woman. Of course, Taylor Swift is a woman, even though she has like a very gender neutral name. So there is the Hanged Woman instead of the Hanged Man. I've always preferred the Hanged One instead of either one, because then it's like, or the Hanged Being for that instance, because it just kind of reminds us that we're all just human. We could call it the Hanged Human, couldn't we? That would make a lot of sense. But there, unless there is the Hanged Woman. Death follows the Hanged Man, Hanged Woman, Hanged Being, Hanged One, Hanged Thing. Sure. There is death. I love that illustration, like the darkness and everything, but the power that comes with it. Again, a little bit difficult to read, so not going to read it to you. If you want to pause the video and try to read that, you're more than welcome to do that. But there is death, followed by Temperance. Temperance would be Taylor Swift's major arcana card right here. I believe is her birthday like December 8th. I want to say, because I feel like I know this on some level. because she has the same birthday as Corey Taylor, if I've looked it up correctly, or if I remember correctly. So that would be her major arcana card, because it's astrologically connected to temperance. Her minor arcana card would be the Nine of Wands, because it's the second decan of Sagittarius, if I'm correct. And then her court card would be the Knight of Wands, if you're interested. If you want to know what your personal three tarot cards are connected to your birthday, then just leave a comment down below, and I can absolutely reply with exactly which cards relate to you. But there is Temperance, the card astrologically connected to Sagittarius. Very cool with the butterfly wings and everything. I love the connection to the Rider-Waite-Smith in this deck. Like every single card, the major arcana that we've seen so far, very much the Rider-Waite-Smith base. Like here is the Devil, and the Devil has the two cats trapped, so very cool illustration right there. Devil is astrologically connected to Capricorn, if you're interested in knowing that. I have a whole video series on the astrological connections. I've got the ones for the planets, I've got the ones for every single zodiac sign, so you have every single one of the cards, all 78, in which they relate to. If you're interested in checking that out, I can put that link in the description below so that you can easily click on it, the whole playlist for it. But there is the Devil, followed by the Tower. The Tower is astrologically connected to Mars. There is the Tower, very, very dark and scary, but the power she possesses is right there in the illustration. Like, I'm not letting all of this pain and destruction destroy me. I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to create a stronger tower. Think of all the songs she's written about heartbreak and past loves and everything. It's the death of those experiences, the collapse of those relationships that have given her her empire that she has today. So that's very, very interesting illustration of the Tower. Very empowering illustration too, and I love that. The Star follows the Tower. Its astrological connection is Aquarius. So we have this illustration right here, and it's very much Aquarius energy, pouring out the old, applying the old into the new, and finding that hope to continue after the Tower. Very cool right there. Followed by the Moon. The Moon is right here in this illustration, and I think it's fun that the Taylor is the Moon itself in that illustration, so that's very cool. And right there, it's crescent something, coast is clear. Yes, so I tried to read that one, but you might be able to read it by pausing it. I'm not sure. They're not that easy to read, but the deck itself absolutely is. The Sun follows the Moon, after the moonlight comes the sun rising, and there is that illustration. Now I see daylight, I only see desire. Now I see daylight, I only see daylight. So that's lyrics to a song apparently, but that's a fun illustration of the sun right there, and I like the fact that it's her, because it's kind of reminding you that she's followed her passion. She's still got that inner child alive and healthy, I believe, and so that's a cool illustration right there. The Sun is followed by justice. No, the Sun is followed by judgment, and there is judgment, astrological connection to Pluto. The Sun, of course, is astrologically connected to the Sun, and the Moon is astrologically connected to Pisces, I believe. Yes, so there is that information, and Judgment is right here, astrologically connected to Pluto, and you have that awesome, tooting your own horn, judging yourself fairly, finding that confidence to forgive the past and learn from it so you can find the success of the world, like Taylor Swift has definitely found, and you have that illustration right there. If you and me, that in my whole world, or something like that, that's my whole world. Yes, you and me, that's my whole world. So that's a nice little connection to the energy of the world right there. I can only imagine how difficult it is to relate song lyrics of a single artist to every single 78 card of the tarot. To this day, I still have trouble, and I'm not doing anything specific. I'm definitely not trying to use all Nickelback songs to create a whole Nickelback or a tarot playlist. Definitely not, but it's like every song in the world is at my what's the word, at my legs, at my, where I can use them to make songs and stuff on a playlist or something for Spotify for tarot cards, and I still have not been able to achieve that. So kudos to Suburban Witch Company for actually being able to find lyrics that relate to every single song. So there is the world. And that is the completion of the major arcana before we get to the Suit of Cups, it seems. So here is the Ace of Cups, and those lyrics continue on the illustration right there. Ace of Cups, followed by the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is right here. And I like the fact that it's two Taylors. It's like facing that inner darkness, appreciating who you are, loving the skin you're in and the person looking back at you in the mirror. So that is cool right there. I love that kind of energy from that. So there's the Two of Cups, followed by the Three of Cups. Again, 3 Taylors, so all coming together there, all different sides, celebrating the success of her harvest that she has definitely achieved. Awesome illustration right there. Followed by the Four of Cups, the boredom card of the tarot. Astrology connected to the third decan of Cancer, to be exact, because 2, 3, 4. But there is the Four of Cups right there, very much the Four of Cups energy. Like, to think, they not only put the lyrics and everything there, this company has absolutely put in the effort to make the minor arcana just as awesome as the major arcana. She always seems to have sales and everything going on. This deck, even if you're not a Swiftie, if you're not a huge Taylor Swift fan, this deck is still awesome and so worth the money, I believe. The cardstock, not the best cardstock there, but very durable, I believe. Don't get it wet, don't bend it or fold it, don't bridge it and things like that, and it's going to last a long time. So very cool illustration right there. Followed by the card of crying over spilled milk, as I like to call it, the Five of Cups, focusing on what's been lost and not seeing what remains. So there is that illustration. And we've changed the cups to wine glasses, so that's a cool little touch right there. Six of Cups, the card of nostalgia. There is Taylor with her cat again, and she's like sharing that cup with the cat. So that's a cool illustration. And it kind of reminds you, our familiars, our like pets, they don't last forever, but their love for us and our love for them can last a lifetime. So that's a really cool illustration right there. Seven of Cups follows the Six of Cups, the card of choices. And here are all the choices that Taylor has. You've got all the same basis, like all the different illustrations, like of the Rider-Waite Smith, because that ghost looks like a rocking ghost, so that's very cool. I love that. There's a cat. I don't know what's going on in that one. There's a butterfly, a snake. Again, I don't know what's going on in those, but there's a lot to go with this. And I lived myself a daydream, or I let myself a daydream. Difficult to read down there, but it doesn't take away from the illustration at all. The Eight of Cups follows the Seven of Cups. And you have this illustration right there, very stacked up neatly, ready to go into something new and follow new emotions. I like the fact that the ocean is like, she's looking towards it. That's a very cool little illustration right there. Followed by the Nine of Cups, the wish card of the tarot. And this one, the illustration is so fun on this card. I love it. The rainbows and everything to it. It's very beautiful. And she's got that heart and everything, I love myself enough. I've learned from the past, hermit energy there, so I can make all my wishes come true in the here and now. So very fun illustration right there. Followed by the happy family card in the tarot. And she is her happy family. I can't tell you how much I love this illustration. I love the fact that there's only one. This is not an illustration with Taylor Swift and what's his name? Travis Kelce, I believe. That's the one that she's with now, as making this video. Who knows if that will last or not. Be awesome if it did, because she deserves to be happy and find that true love. But that Ten of Cups energy, it reminds us, that happy family, when we love who we are, like that Two of Cups we saw earlier. We love that person looking back looking back at us in the mirror and everything. When we find that whole complete fulfillment inside for our own love and appreciation, then we can absolutely do anything. I love that. That's awesome. Page of Cups is next, and we've got that illustration right here with Taylor Swift does the Page of Cups. See, they've got this, still have that energy right there at the bottom and the lyrics that I have difficulty seeing in the illustration, so I'm not going to read them. We'd be at this forever, and I'd be blah, blah, blah. So definitely not doing that. But there is the Page of Cups. And I just noticed this. I've only met one other deck. So this major thank you, kudos, appreciation for Suburban Witch Company. Look, this is the Page of Cups. And right there is the 11 showing the Page of Cups, the number. This deck is awesome. Yes, I go weirdly enthusiastic when it comes to numbering the court cards, because that is a hiccup. That is trouble for so many of us when we read decks. The court cards are the hardest ones to read. They're usually for a lot of us, they're the hardest ones to connect with, the hardest ones to share. That number, the numerology aspect, that 11, double that of the Magician, it just gives you so much more meaning that you can use with this card. So this deck, absolutely 100% perfect for beginners, especially if that beginner is a Taylor Swift fan. I cannot recommend this deck enough. I'll absolutely put a link in the description below where you can purchase it for your own collection if it calls to you. Seriously, this deck is perfection for beginners, I believe. And, seasoned readers as well, for that matter. Because if you're if you're into tarot, you've got something new. And I just love the whole concept behind this deck. You know, if you're a Taylor Swift fan, I don't feel like there's a better deck out there for you. Absolutely awesome. Yes. Knight of Cups. This is a cat with a unicorn hat. How fun is that? And I like the rainbow and everything. Like, follow your heart. Don't care what anybody else thinks, you know? Believe in yourself. Love yourself. Let your heart lead you to happy, joyful, imaginative times, like the life of your fantasy. You've got the 12 up here too, relating it to the hanged man or the hanged woman in this deck. So that is so awesome that they gave us the numbers in this deck. I love that. The Queen of Cups follows the Knight of Cups in the sequence. There's the 13 relating it to death, focusing on what makes your heart sing, letting go of what doesn't, and finding that power to lead with love in everything you do. So I love that illustration. I love that. Seriously, I cannot tell you how much I love the fact that they've numbered the court. That is such a cool little touch that you do not get in very many decks. Seriously, I have probably over 100 decks at this point, and I only have one, technically two other decks, because it's the same deck, it's just one is black and white. And the first time I ever saw it was the Biblical Tarot, and that's got the 13 and everything for the queens. It's seriously awesome. More people, more companies should do this. More tarot creators should do this. Give us the numbers. It makes things so much better and so much easier. It's a beautiful illustration there. And last but not least, of the suit of cups is the King of Cups. And there is the King of Cups as Taylor herself. And that again, that 14 relating it to temperance, all that knowledge and wisdom applied to the next chapter gives us that power to change and transform our lives for the better. See how much easier it is to read the court when you just have the number? I love that. Okay, cups are followed by the pentacles in this deck. Here is the Ace of Pentacles, and that one beautiful illustration right there on that hand. The energy of this is almost silly, but it's so fun at the same time. So that's a really cool illustration right there. Followed by the Two of Pentacles, the card of balance, and she's having fun, you know, still balancing, you know, the things that she has to do with the things she wants to do, and keeping it, even though chaos might be the rain. I always really like the Two of Pentacles to the chaos of life because of the wavy waters and everything. So there is that illustration. The Three of Pentacles, getting advice and collaborating with others to achieve our creative endeavors. So there is that illustration. And again, it's her. She's trusting her own mind in everything she does. So that is fun right there. You can almost like see her butt crack right there. I thought that was a cool little attention to my weird detail, my immaturity. So there is that. But beautiful again, nonetheless. This entire deck, it's absolutely gorgeous. Four of Pentacles, holding on to your money for a rainy day. Gives me devil vibes right there, like sitting in the throne and emperor and everything, you know. That strong foundation that she is very much in that illustration. Followed by the Five of Pentacles, finding yourself down on your luck. You held that money too long and then the money didn't exist anymore, or you spent it. I don't know, but there is the Five of Pentacles. And even though she's like down on her luck, she's not giving up. She's looking up. She's looking towards the future. So there's a very empowering energy with that Five of Pentacles, isn't there? Five of Pentacles is followed by the Six of Pentacles. The sharing is caring card. And she's sharing with that awesome cat again. I love the cats that just go through this deck. I love cats, so duh, that makes sense. But there is the Six of Pentacles. The sharing is caring card, and there is the words on the bottom. I know that first word is karma, but it's just a little bit difficult for me to read. So there is that. If you've been pausing the video and it hasn't been easy to read, I apologize for that. Here's my best suggestion for the solution. Go out and buy the deck. Order the deck. And then you can read them at your own leisure. There is the Seven of Pentacles, the card of patience, Sagittarius energy. With Taylor probably doesn't have patience. Just like I don't have patience. Just like you probably don't have patience. I don't carry your sun sign. Patience is difficult nowadays. There is the Seven of Pentacles, followed by the hard work and effort. She definitely puts in that hard work and effort as she creates songs and keeps writing them and everything. So there is the Eight of Pentacles illustration, followed by the Nine of Pentacles illustration there. She's worked hard. There's all the fruits of her labor. And if there's anybody out there that can literally buy whatever they want, she's earned it for sure. So there is the Nine of Pentacles. Generations of family coming together to celebrate the blood that flows through our veins, the past ancestors that we met, the past lives that we have. There is the Ten of Pentacles, the energy of that card. Beautiful illustration again. And still, it's her and the cat playing with like the streamer or something on her hand. So that's a very cool illustration there. Very reminiscent of the Rider-Waite-Smith, but at the same time, not at all. I love this energy. Like, I cannot wait to start working with this deck. 11 11 is the Page of Pentacles. Again, we're back to the awesomeness that is the numbered court. Seriously, if you're watching this and you're thinking about creating a tarot deck, put the numbers. I know personally, it has added to my love for this deck. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan out there. I do like a lot of her music, but it's more rock, Nickelback. That's my favorite band. But that 11 energy, that brings this deck to a whole new level. It's freaking awesome. There is the Page of Pentacles, followed by the Knight of Pentacles with her 12 energy, and that cat with the unicorn. It's continued. That's the soldier. That's the horse. It's in all of them, I think. I haven't met the other two suits yet, so we might not know for sure. But if that's in 2 of them, it's probably in all of them. And I like that little attention to detail that connects them all. Very cool illustration right there. And you see she's focused on that pentacle. She's willing to put that hard work and effort in order to achieve her goals. So the thought process that went into this deck to create it, bravo. Bravo, Suburban Witch Company. I will clap and applaud you because it's awesome. Here is the 13, the Queen of Pentacles. You have that illustration right there. You know, you've made that money. You found success, and she definitely has. So that's a beautiful illustration. I love the different outfits and everything. It reminds me of like childhood and stuff when I get those coloring books and I'd color the dresses and everything. You know, all the different wardrobe things. Wearing a dress, I don't care how old you are and everything. I will always, like when I do festivals and events and stuff, I dress the part. Like, I have the dress and everything. Like, I want to dress up. I want to wear that fancy dress. Nowhere near as fancy as Taylor Swift's, obviously, because I don't have the money to pull that off. But I will choose to wear a dress. I've got the crow feathers and everything. It's just more fun, I think. And it is fun to wear a dress. I always wear pants under it, though, because I'll tell you a little secret. When I was a child, I wore dresses all the time. And I had an absolute blast flipping that dress up and showing people my underwear. So as an adult, I don't do that anymore. I mean, I've gained common sense. I know people don't want to see my underwear, but I do wear pants under it. So if I accidentally, like the wind blows it, pulls a Marilyn Monroe and stuff, then I can, you know, no one sees anything, like yoga pants or something underneath. But anywho, King of Pentacles, there's the fancy dress and everything. King of Pentacles is astrologically connected to Taurus. And we have that, you know, holding that pentacle, appreciating all the fruits of her labor, finding that comfortability and everything that comes with being successful. So there is that illustration with the 14 energy. And we're to the suit of wands now. Passion, fire, enthusiasm, excitement. Got the Ace of Wands right here. You know, in the Rider-Waite-Smith, the hand's coming out of here. But in this illustration, the hand's coming over here. It's almost as if the hand has grabbed the wand and is ready to take action with it. So maybe that's not like the thought process behind it, but it's definitely mine. So I love that illustration and that kind of thought process behind it. Beautiful. Followed by the Two of Wands, the card I call Should I Stay or Should I Go? Finding that passion and following it. And she's definitely done that. So you have that illustration. You have those two wands, you know, making the decision between the two, turning around and facing you in this illustration as well, saying, you know, make that choice, follow your passion. And then the Three of Wands, there is the back of her, like she's turned around, she's made that choice, she has her hand on one of the wands, so she's made that passion a reality. She's created that passion, she's written those songs, written that music, and she's made a name for herself doing it, and at the same time inspired others too. And that's why the Three of Wands is my favorite card of the tarot, because, you know, you follow your passion, you make the choice to follow it, you create with it, and you inspire others at the same time. Four of Wands, the card of a passionate, strong foundation. There, she is the only one in the illustration. And again, I love that kind of message from it. I love that energy. That you can be that strong foundation all on your own when you find the confidence to follow your passion and believe in your words. So there is that illustration. Followed by the Five of Wands, the card of immaturity. And, you know, other people's opinions and passions conflicting with your own. There is that illustration, and you've got them all fighting. But if you look closely, it's all her again. It's those inner demons making us doubt ourselves. And I bet even as successful as she may be, even as successful as any one of those singers and artists and anything out there, celebrities, we'll just call them celebrities, no matter how confident they look, they probably still have inner demons as well, don't they? So there is that 5, change and transformation energy, Hierophant of the Major Arcana. learning from the experience of the past, letting life be your teacher so you can transform your life for the better when you find that confidence to do so. So 5 of Wands precedes the 6 of Wands, celebrating your victories no matter how small they may be. And there's that cat again. That cat replaces the soldier's horse. I say, like, I'll need to go back. Hold on, we're going to do that. So there is the 6 of Wands illustration. I'm going to flip the deck over. We're going to try to find death really fast. No, death is actually a horse. Yes, I went all the way back through the deck to show that death is actually a horse and not the cool cat unicorn that you see there, because the cat unicorn is just cool. There is the 7 of Wands, standing up for what you believe in and defending your passion against the ones that don't believe in you. She's done that as well. So awesome illustration there. Again, this deck, perfect for beginners, I feel. Really, really is. Like, you've got the numbered court, for example, like that's number 1 there, but it's so based on the Rider-Waite-Smith that it's very, very easy to just pick up and read. There is the 8 of Wands, and there's all those wands, all those passions that you've thrown out into the world, and they're starting to get noticed. The fast times, the bright lights, the merry-go. That's what it says right there. I could read that one pretty easily. So there is that illustration of the 8 of Wands, followed by the 9 of Wands, the feeling of looking over your shoulder all the time, wondering when the next shoe's going to fall, you know, all the experiences of your past. 9 energy up there, like, shows like the things that might not have worked out. It caused you to doubt yourself in the present. You've got that 1 wand though. She's got that 1 wand. So she's like, all those things in my past, they've taught me enough that I can follow my passion now. So very, very empowering 9 of Wands right there. And then the card of feeling, and that's her card. Remember that. I told you. The 9 of Wands, she's born in that 2nd decan of Sagittarius. 9 of Wands is her card, so she has, she probably had haters in the past as well. She's probably had things that didn't work out. Relationships we know for sure didn't work out, but she's got all of that under her belt so she can focus on her passion now. So that is awesome. 10 of Wands is the card astrologically connected to the 3rd decan of Sagittarius. This is my card, my minor arcana card. And yes, I take too much on. I have too many passions in life, and it's difficult to focus on just one. But therein lies the issue with the feeling of overwhelmed by the 10 of Wands. There's power in it, when you get all those wands to its destination, you can spin the wheel of fortune and begin again. So there is that illustration, followed by the Page of Wands. 11 is that energy right there, following and embarking on your new passionate path with the experiences of the past. So you've got that illustration, followed by the 12 of Wands. 12 of Wands. It works because there's the 12. Seriously, I cannot thank the creator of this deck enough for the energy of the numbers in the court cards. Yes, yes, yes. And there is the cat. The cat is ready for whatever, Taylor's ready for. Her cats are probably very, very spoiled, happy cats for sure. But that soldier, this is the soldier that is related, astrologically connected to Taylor Swift as long as she's in those first 2 decans. If she's in that 3rd decan and I've forgotten, I know she's a Sagittarius though. So we do have that. So that energy right there can be flighty. It can have too many passions, like that 10 of Wands we met. But if you're truly passionate about something and you soldier onto it, you can find success with your passion, and she reminds us of that. So there is that illustration, followed by the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands might actually be the coolest illustration in this deck. Like that dress and everything, the hair. The Elizabethan era, I want to say, with that deck, or that illustration. And there's the cat down there that looks like my cat. So I love that illustration right there. The 13 energy there, that strong foundation when you let go of the doubt and create that life that you're passionate about. Therein lies the power and the passion of the Queen of Wands, astrology connected to Aries. And then, last but not least, of the suits of passion and fire is the King of Wands. 14 relating to temperance. Leo energy with the King of Wands right there. Following your passion, letting it lead, and inspiring others with the stories that you have about it. She's definitely done that as well. So that is an awesome illustration right there. And then the last suit of the deck, we have made it to it. We've made it upon it. We start with the Ace of Swords right there with the sword. The sword's coming from this side now. So that is a very little detail that maybe no people would notice, but it's like, and even when in doubt, I don't know if they act like, I got this from SpongeBob, but you've probably heard this before. I don't know, like I think it's in the Rider-Waite-Smith too, and it's kind of fun, ridiculous, and it's just inspiring as well. When in doubt, pinky out. It was like when SpongeBob was meeting Sandy the squirrel for the first time, and he was like going into her glass bubble dome underwater or something, and That's what they did. When in doubt, pinky out. And when you have that new idea and you trust yourself, you don't completely trust it, or you trust yourself, you doubt, put that pinky out, and it gives you that confidence. I don't know, but I like that little attention to detail right there. Two of Swords. This is an awesome illustration. I love the blue and everything of it, that logic and intuition. It's almost like it glows a little bit. So that is a really cool illustration right there of the Two of Swords. The Three of Swords, very much Rider-Waite-Smith. Like the heart and everything. I am to do it with a broken heart. I am to do it with a broken heart. Yes, she's created so much success with that broken heart. And that's the energy that I love about the Three of Swords. Three is the number of creativity and creation itself. It's the Empress of the Major Arcana. The energy of the Three of Swords is the heartbreak and betrayal card. But you can learn so much from that heartbreak and betrayal. You can create so much. Just take Taylor Swift herself. Look how much she's succeeded, how much she's created from the pain of the heartbreak. Yes, yes, yes. I love that energy of this card, especially in this deck. And it's so reminiscent, so connected to the Rider-Waite-Smith. It's like there wasn't that much thought process put into it, but it's the power that this card possesses. You don't even need that much. That stabbed heart, when you learn to love again, when you learn to love yourself and you forgive that past and learn from it, you can create something even better from the pain. I love that. Four of Swords, the card of rest and reflection. That's what she's doing on that couch. You know, you've got all those three swords up there. You got the sword down here as well. So what you've created in the past, what you've learned from the past, can help you take this new idea and run with it in the present. So very cool illustration right there. Very relatable to that of the Rider-Waite-Smith, which I love again. If you want that deck, the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's been around since 1909, created by Pamela Coleman Smith and Arthur Edward Waite. So there is a lot of decks out there that relate to it, that are based on those illustrations. But you know, they might be outdated this time, but this deck relates so much to it that if you're just looking for that new deck and you're a Taylor Swift fan, this deck, like, you can read with it. It's such a beginner's deck. It's perfect, I think. Five of Swords right there, the victor or victim card. And she's definitely the victor in this illustration because there's nobody else there. But like, you look at the waves of the ocean of emotion behind her. Her own inner demons, her own like experiences, other people might have made her feel like a victim, might have made you feel like a victim at times. But when you leave those emotions behind, when you trust yourself and trust your mind in the present and find that confidence to say, I can be a victor, then you can absolutely find victory moving forward. So there is that illustration, followed by the leaving the stress behind and finding a time of peace and harmony with the Six of Swords. And there she's got her two cats and she's taking control. She's moving forward. I like this energy because you don't see it in other decks necessarily, like Rider-Waite-Smith. There's like the one guy rowing the boat while the other two people sit up front. She's taking control. She has that confidence of her mind. She loves herself despite her past. She's reflecting on it. She finds that confidence and she is moving forward. I think I am finally something. Yeah, there is that on the illustration. I can't exactly read it very well, but that is not taking away from the illustration at all. Beautiful, beautiful energy of that illustration. Followed by the Thief card of the tarot and the Seven of Swords, and she's the thief in this illustration. So you've got even the tense, like in the Rider-Waite-Smith. She left them too. They'll be fine. And she's taken the 5 plus 2 equals 7 away for herself. So that is a fun illustration right there. Followed by the Seven of Swords. Or that was the 7. This is the 8 of Swords, and there is the 8. Prisoner of your own mind, letting your mind overwhelm you and everything. And she probably has those issues as well, you know. We all get those issues sometimes when our minds want to fill us with doubt and anxiety and help us, not help us, hinder us from finding that success and wealth of the 8. Hinder us from finding that strength to be fair to ourselves with the energy of the 8. So there is the 8 of Swords, followed by the 9 of Swords, inner demons and doubt and nightmares keeping us awake at night. And that is When My Depression Works, the Graveyard Shift. I think I remember listening to that song not too long ago because I did. When I ordered this deck and everything, I was like, well, I have to at least listen to more of her songs. I didn't know that many, and I remember that being in there because I was like, that's extremely relatable, that depression, just working overtime, working all the time and making you doubt yourself. So that is an awesome illustration there. Followed by the 10 of Swords, there is the lie down and die, give up, throw in the towel energy of the 10 of Swords. Is this the end of all the endings. Yes, that is, when life wants to bring you down, life wants to put you under, life wants to be horrible to you. You just want to give up. But that 10 reminds us that all of that is behind us, and we can spin the wheel. We can begin the next chapter. We can take what we've learned and use that information to begin again with the Page of Swords right there. And the 11 court cards. Yes, yes, yes. There is the Page of Swords, followed by the Knight of Swords. There is the Knight of Swords illustration. The cat with the unicorn head, with the rainbow unicorn. It's such a fun, unique little concept right there. I love it. But there is the Knight of Swords, followed by the Queen of Swords. The one that has definitely experienced heartbreak, betrayal, and pain and everything, but it's given her the strength and the confidence she needs to lead with logic and lead with confidence moving forward. She's let what no longer served her go away so she can find what does. So there is that illustration. And then last but not least is the king himself, or the queen, because it's Taylor Swift, with the 14 energy and the Queen of Swords, or King of Swords, that has that logical mind that can do anything because he's like logic and rational and everything. So that is that illustration, and that brings us to the end of the deck of the Tayrot Tarot. Tayrot Tarot, yes, that's what they called it. There is the box. The box, the box is not that well built, not that great, but the deck itself, it's such a fun, interesting, unique deck. I love it. Like I said, I will say it again. I wish they'd bring a Nickelback tarot deck. That would be the coolest thing ever. Maybe I should make it, but I can't draw to save my life. Suburban Witch Company definitely can. So that is such a cool concept for a deck. Definitely a fantastic deck for beginners. You saw why. Very Rider-Waite-Smith illustrations. Very fun, very unique for all of those Swifties out there. I'll put a link in the description below where you can purchase this deck from your own collection. And if you want to see what it shares with you, absolutely book a reading with me. Comment on this video, message me on the socials, or book one directly on my website, letting me know this is the deck you want me to work with, and I'll absolutely do it, because it'd be really exciting to use this deck for a reading. But as always, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If it's a deck that you're interested in, that link will be in the description below of where you can purchase it. It'll probably be Etsy that I'll share it with, so that you have that information. But again, as always, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again in the next one.